Hello, hello. So, welcome to our first crowdcast. I have been giddy about this today. I'm so excited. I see some people are starting to gather. That's fantastic. I'm really glad you're here. Say hello in the chat. Let me know where you are from because I would just like to know who's gathering. And even if you are just listening to the recording, that would be awesome. I probably won't respond to the chat while I'm talking just because I can't multitask like that. But if you post a question or something in the chat, I will respond to it. Once I close off this live piece, we can continue talking in the chat. I just can't do video and chat at the same time. So anyway, I'm super glad you're here. This is something that I have been wanting to put together for a while, and I just kept debating what platform to do it on. Did I want to do a podcast, a weekly webinar, that sort of thing? And I finally decided that what I felt was, more important for us as a community of membership leaders is an opportunity to just connect weekly, not take a lot of time, but just an opportunity to come together and think about something that is relevant to growing our organizations, to have a chance to connect and ask questions and just reflect on what it takes to actually grow an association, trade group, or membership-based nonprofit, how we engage people, how we keep them sticking around and build a loyal community. And I just don't know that there are that many places to do that without going to, a big conference. So this is just an opportunity every week for us to come together and talk about those things. So my intent is to keep the live portion of this pretty brief. I'd like these episodes to be under 15 minutes so that it is doable inside your busy day. You can take just a few minutes out, take a deep breath, join me here, and then kind of move on and get on with your day. But the cool thing about the Crowdcast platform is that the chat is open before, during, and after the broadcast, as are the polls and the Q&A section. So we can kind of keep the conversation going in an extended way, even when I'm not broadcasting live. So if you are not here live and you are watching this recording on some other platform, just know that you can get to all of the topics, all of the past, present, and future episodes by going to joyofmembership.com/crowdcast, and they should all be listed there. Of course, today is the first one, so after today you'll find this recording, but I've tried to list out the topics for several weeks ahead so that you can start thinking about which ones make sense. And if you have some topics that you would love to see us discuss on one of these, feel free to leave me a note, put it in the ask a question part, and I'll make a note that that's something you'd like to talk about in the future. So let's dive into today's topic. So have you ever heard that saying that you should under-promise and over-deliver? So I don't know if it's a Midwestern thing, but I've heard it a number of times. And on the surface, it makes total sense. I'm reminded of a couple of years ago, we had roofers who did our house. And in fact, a hailstorm had gone through our neighborhood and had damaged the roof of a lot of houses here. So for a couple of months after that happened, there were a variety of roofing companies around working on everybody's roofs. And as I talked to neighbors who were all having their roofs redone, I found that it seemed to be something that roofing companies just say, that your roof is going to take a day. Like every roof, big or small, was going to take a day. And it never did. So back then I was thinking, oh my gosh, why don't they tell us it's going to take a week and then we'll be surprised when it takes 3 days. But when you tell us it's going to take a day and it takes 3 days, then we're disappointed. So the idea of under-promising and over-delivering is that you surprise and delight your customer by giving them something that they didn't expect. It's kind of like the baker's dozen, where you order 12 cookies and the bakery throws in a 13th. It's just a nice little surprise. So on the surface, it makes sense. Now, I was talking to someone who runs an association one day last week, and this concept came up with her. She said that there was a component of her association's benefits that people don't really know about until they get into it. And then they are surprised and delighted that there's this thing that's going to be really helpful to them. And I asked her why they did that. Why don't they talk about that on their website or in any of their marketing materials? And she said that she just thought that they should underpromise and over-deliver. It was just something nice to do for members. But this wasn't something like faster delivery or an extra cookie. Like, her staff were putting a lot of time and energy into producing this other thing. And so it got me thinking about this whole concept. Now, I was initially thinking, well, maybe that's just bad advice, under promise and over deliver. And I don't know that I would go that far to say that it's bad advice, but I think there are a couple of things that are cautions. I'll just say they're cautions around it. So on the under promise side, if there's something that you have discovered surprises and delights your members on a consistent basis, why on earth would you want to keep that a secret? I would not keep that a secret. I talk to so many organizations that struggle to figure out what people want. And, they feel like members aren't sure that they're getting value. So, they're questioning, was there ROI when it's time to renew? Like, those questions are so difficult for membership-based organizations that if you have something that is a wow factor for your members, use it. Don't keep that a secret. So that's kind of on the under promise side. Don't under promise. If you have something wonderful, take advantage of every asset that you have. Now, on the over deliver side, I've never found under delivering to be a problem with the clients that I've worked with. In fact, what tends to happen is because we all feel this pressure to deliver return on investment to our members, and we know that they're assessing value, we're constantly thinking about, what can we give them? What can we put in? And what should be in our benefits list? What can we add? And so we tend to naturally over deliver. It's very rare that you find an organization that isn't like adding things to their membership benefits, just hoping that, something sparks. And we put a lot of time and energy into creating those benefits and delivering those benefits. But, I was talking with an organization, it was probably a couple weeks ago now. And, they were thinking about kind of shifting their membership packages. So I was taking a close look at what their membership offerings were. And I'm on their website, and I'm looking at the membership benefits and their packages, and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling. And it was this long list. And it's probably the most extensive list that I've seen from an association. And it wasn't that those member benefits didn't look impressive on the screen, but I was actually concerned that they were over delivering and that their members were going to get lost in the sea of over delivering. What I would have preferred to see for them, and my advice to them kind of moving forward with their packages, was to start creating pathways through their benefits so that if you have someone who was new to the industry, you had kind of a pathway through the benefits, kind of a suite of benefits that was ideally aligned to what someone new in the industry would find most helpful. And then if there was someone who was a little further along, you'd have benefits that were more perfectly aligned with them being further along in their career, if that makes sense. Perhaps a better example is there was it was a photography association that came through one of my programs a few years ago, and they were looking at kind of who they serve, and they actually found they had 3 different populations. They had people who wanted to be professional photographers and were looking to make more money from that professionally. They had amateur photographers who wanted to improve their photography. And then they had like people who just liked that photography niche, the type of photography that they focused on. So rather than having this extensive list of benefits where they were kind of over delivering in order to prove value, that again was another situation where don't over deliver a long list of benefits, specifically deliver things that are aligned with what's really going to make a difference. And a lot of organizations don't have those sorts of conversations. They add in more, they over deliver without critically assessing, do each of these things still make sense? And are we putting time and energy into things that maybe we don't need to put time and energy into? So I guess those are my thoughts on under promising. If you have something, don't keep it a secret. And on over delivering, be careful that you're not putting time and energy into over delivering when those things you're over delivering aren't really making a huge difference for the people that you're specifically serving. So those are the thoughts that I wanted to share with you live today. If you want to connect around topics like this, we will do this same day, same time every week. I've posted the upcoming topics on the Crowdcast page, on the channel page, so you can see what's coming up and sign up for any of those that you are interested in. And then I am also launching a member experience design group. We'll have one more 6-week group going through before the end of the year. Starting mid-October, goal is to get done before Thanksgiving. So if this is something that you would like to dive deeper in, there's certainly the opportunity to do that as well. But I'll be back every week. We can connect. And if you have questions, post them in the chat and I will answer them there. Anyway, have a great rest of your day and I will see you next week.